When the final whistle was blown at the Stade Velodrome on June 27, 1998, the Norwegians had lost a hard-fought battle against the Italians that ended with a Christian Vieri decider. Norway were knocked out of the World Cup, and little did that generation know that they had played their last ever FIFA World Cup match. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Tore Andre Flo, Erling Haaland, you name them, none of them ever featured in a World Cup match again. Riise, arguably their best export in years, was only 17 at the time and had not made a senior professional debut for Norway. And even him, across his 110 caps for Norway, never played in the World Cup. It took them 28 years to show up again, and at the front and center of the charge to bring them back was one Erling Haaland. Son of former defender Erling, who was in the squad the last time Norway was represented at the biggest football tournament on the planet. After a historic World Cup qualification campaign where Norway won all 8 matches to book a spot at the 2026 World Cup, Erling Haaland scored a whopping 16 goals along the way, setting the record of the most goals scored in World Cup qualifiers across Europe, with his closest competitor being Robert Lewandowski for Poland with only 8. Put that into perspective. There was no denying the fact that Erling was the beating heart of this Norway side, and if they were ever to do well in the World Cup, they would most definitely look to him for inspiration. Then came matchday 1, Iraq up against Norway. An instinct to take the match away from Iraq. Norway's first 3 points back secured. Then came Senegal, the reigning African champions. After the Lions of Teranga showed a great account of themselves in the first 3 quarters of the match, Norway were trailing by 2-1, sucking pressure in their own half, and then one lapse in concentration had Martin Odegaard with possession, ripe for a counter, and at the end of it was the inevitable Erling, a Viking with stealth, patience and composure, able to bury the chance because that is what he plays for. Norway had equalized and all was to play for heading into the final 10 minutes. Like a fox in the box, he gambled on a loose ball in the box and struck it home, making it 3-2 to the Norwegians, with him having scored 4 times in his first 2 World Cup matches. After the match, it was confirmed that Norway were heading to the round of 32 and the vibes and celebrations kicked on. The birth of the Viking roar, which soon became a trademark as they would do it everywhere, and it quickly caught on. The following match was against France, one of the tournament's biggest contenders. However, this had their manager Ståle Solbakken rest 10 of his starters, with Norway already through to the knockouts and nothing left to play for in the group. France ran out 4-1 winners, with Ousmane Dembélé scoring a hat-trick, handing Norway its heaviest defeat of the summer, but it barely mattered. Waiting for them in the round of 32 was Ivory Coast, and this was where the real story picked back up. Antonio Nusa curled Norway into the lead before the break, before Ivory Coast hit back through substitute Amad Diallo late on. And with the fewest touches of the game, Erling Haaland was still the one who delivered the final say, scoring the winner in the 86th minute as they came to win the game 2-1 in normal time. This was Norway's first ever World Cup knockout win in their history, and it set a date with the record champions, Brazil. This was arguably their biggest matchup yet. Erling was sitting on 5 goals in 3 matches, a strike rate was synonymous with him as his goal per game ratio is one of the best in the business. But there was a problem. This is Brazil. favorites in every competition they walk into because they are blessed with quality generation after generation. Some not in the era of Ronaldinho or Ronaldo or Bebeto. They always came out on top. But since it has been so, Brazil were handed a clear chance to take the lead from the penalty spot and Bruno Guimaraes blew it. Norway's goalkeeper Haaland standing tall to keep it out. Let off the hook, Norway defended doggedly to make it through to half-time. At the start of the second half, they started venturing forward even more, probing but not really making their intent clear. Haaland could be seen striding between Marquinhos and Gabriel Magalhaes, seeming uninterested with what was going on around him. No sooner he was scoring from the edge of the box to put the result beyond doubt. They had beaten Brazil. Again. Not doing. Done. Neymar's penalty at the last kick of the match would only be a consolation as Norway won back-to-back knockout matches in the World Cup for the first time in their history. They were in dreamland. 7 goals in 4 matches. That is what the statistics said. But Erling was winning hearts on and off the pitch with his carefree persona and larger-than-life character as his YouTube exploits continued in the US, with him being one of the most trending people in the world during the World Cup. His athleticism and humility made him one of the fans' favorites, with people from all corners of the globe admiring his hair, what he ate for breakfast to be the freak that he was, and his intriguing interviews before and after matches. England were waiting in the quarterfinals. You see, Erling was born in Leeds, a city in England, when his dad was playing for Leeds United back in the day. Even though he did not stay long before returning back to Norway, he could technically represent England. So this was a match close to his heart, as he implied in his pre-match interview. The English connections with him and his father being employees of Manchester City now and in the past respectively, the ties could never have been stronger. Norway had made history, playing in their first ever quarterfinal of the World Cup, being one of the best 8 teams in the competition. The summer had delivered above and beyond. The Norwegian fans were over the moon, hitting the Viking row whenever they could. Norway pegged back England for the best part of the first half, even taking the lead through Andreas Schjelderup, before Erling's best friend Jude Bellingham slalomed to put the match level right at the stroke of half-time. More ascendance continued in the second half as the Vikings looked for a goal and found it, despite it being chopped off in inconclusive circumstances. Even after pushing the match to extra time, it still wasn't enough as Jude Bellingham pounced on a goalkeeper error to give England victory. Close margins. Very close margins. But what wasn't small was the respect and admiration this Norwegian team got back home and across all football fan base. It represented something bigger. Belief in their abilities, in their qualities, and right at the front and center of it all was without doubt Erling Haaland. Having scored this match against the best teams in his first World Cup, who knows what he has in store for the next World Cup editions?
How much it means for Norway, I think I've said it before now, but I think we are changing the nations. First of all, I said that we've been growing balls now over time on playing football and all these kind of things, and I think the way we play today shows that Norway is a fantastic football team, and that we're actually one of the better teams in Europe and in the world, because what we've been doing is amazing, and it took 28 years, took some time. I'm 25 years old, so you can't really blame me for that. You can blame me for coming here, but yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable, and I'm proud. I'm proud of my country, and I'm proud of everyone.